Hello students, in the previous class we have discussed about sets and types of sets. Now in this section we will discuss what is the ordered pair, what is the Cartesian product, and then we will go for what is the relation. From relations we will go to the main topic, function. So let's see one by one. What is an ordered pair? So ordered pair, we will see the definition what is an ordered pair. So let us take two sets. Suppose if A and B be two sets, if A belongs to capital A, means if one element from set A and B belongs to capital B, another element from set B, then A comma B is an ordered pair. Is an ordered pair where A is called first component and B is called second component in the ordered pair in A comma B. So where A is an element from the set A and B is from set B. One example. If A is a set of 1, 2, 3, which has 3 elements, B is another set of x comma y comma z. So let us choose any one element which belongs to set A and one element from set B. If this 2 belongs to A, assume that 2 belongs to A and one element from set B, Z belongs to B, then pair. What is the pair? 2 comma Z is an ordered pair. So this is an example of an ordered pair. So like this we can form any another ordered pair also. Let's have one more ordered pair. Now choose one element, any one of the element from set A and choose any one of the element from set B. So if I choose, this is one example, the another example, if 1 belongs to A and x belongs to B, so then 1 comma x is called an ordered pair. Then 1 comma x is an ordered pair where 1 is the first component from set A and x is the second component from set B. So this is the definition of an ordered pair. So based on the ordered pair, now we'll go for a Cartesian product. Cartesian product. As we have seen the definition of an ordered pair, based on the ordered pair, we'll go for a Cartesian product. That is, if A and B are two sets, then it is a set of all ordered pairs A comma B, where A is a first component from set A and B is a second component from set B. If we collect all the ordered pairs from set A to set B, then it is called a Cartesian product. It is a set consisting of all ordered pairs. So it is called a Cartesian product and it is denoted by A cross B. So that is A cross B. Means we have to collect all the ordered pairs. So let's take the same example which we have taken from the ordered pair. That is, example, A is equal to 1, 2, 3 and B is another one, x, y, z. Now if I choose, we have to select an ordered pair that the first component should be from first A, set A, and second component should be from set B. Now, so let me write, first I will write all the ordered pairs which are possible. Now, 1 comma x is one ordered pair where 1 is from set A, x is from set B. Next, 1 comma y is also an ordered pair where 1 is from A and y is from B. Next, 1 comma z. Similarly, 2 comma x, 2 comma y, 2 comma z, and 3 comma x, 3 comma y, 3 comma z. So these are the ordered pairs, and these are the distinct ordered pairs. Now if I put in a set, so the set of all ordered pairs, all possible ordered pairs is called the Cartesian product. From where to where? From A to B, that is A cross B. So if I put in the set, that is 1 comma x, 1 comma y, 1 comma z, 1 comma z, 2 comma x, 2 comma y, 2 comma z, 3 comma x, and 3 comma y, 3 comma z. So this is the set. It is a set with what elements? The elements are ordered pairs, and it is denoted by A cross B, where A is the first set and B is the second set. Means the first components of each ordered pairs are from set A, and the second components of each ordered pair are from set B. Next, if I change the Cartesian product with B cross A, if I go for B cross A, then it is a set of all ordered pairs with first component from set B and second component should be from set A. Now can you guess what will be the set of all ordered pairs of the Cartesian product B cross A? Means first is B set and the second set is A. So let me write x comma 1 is one ordered pair, that is, so x comma 1, y comma 1, z comma 1, x comma 2, y comma 2, z comma 2, x comma 3, y comma 3, z comma 3. So these are the set of all ordered pairs from set B to set A, that is from B cross A. So this is about Cartesian product. Let's see one more example on the Cartesian product. If A is a set with elements 1 comma 2 and B is another set A comma B, then what is A cross B as well as B cross C? Now, so A cross B is what? It is the set of all ordered pairs where the first component should be from set A and second component should be from set B, that is from A cross B. So that is 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 2 comma A and 2 comma B. So it is A cross B. Similarly, B cross A. So it is also a Cartesian product from set B to set A. It is a set of all ordered pairs where the first component is from set B and second component from set A. So that will be A comma 1, A comma 2, B comma 1 and B comma 2. So from this we can have a note, that is, if A and B are 2, 6 and A is not equal to B, means the set A is not equal to set B. So when we can say two sets are equal means when they have the same number of elements and the elements are also equal. But in the set A there are 1, 2, and set B there is A comma B. So A and B are not equal. If they are not equal, then what about the Cartesian product? Then A cross B is not equal to B cross A. Then the Cartesian product are also not equal. Second, if any one of the two set is empty set, if any one set is empty means 5, then empty means in a set, if there is no element exists in that. If any one of them is empty, then the Cartesian product of A and pi is same as Cartesian product of pi cross A is empty set only. Means if any one of the two sets is empty set, then the Cartesian product is also an empty set. Next, if A and B are any two sets, then how many elements exist in the Cartesian product? The number of elements in the product. See, for example, in A cross B, how many ordered pairs are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 elements present in the Cartesian product. Then the number of n of A cross B means the number of elements in the Cartesian product, or we can say the cardinal number of A cross B is same as n of A into n of B. Means the number of elements present in set A into number of elements in set B. So how many elements are there in the set A? 2 elements, and in set B 2 elements. 2 2s are 4. So in the number of elements in the Cartesian product will be 4. And what are those 4 elements are? 1A to 1B, 2A, 2B. Similarly, in the Cartesian product of B cross A is also similar, that is n of B into n of A, it is also 4. But these two sets are not equal. Next, we will go for the definition of a relation. Now we will go for a relation. So, if A and B are two non-empty sets, what do you mean non-empty set means? Other than empty set. Because if you take an empty set, the Cartesian product is also an empty set. So, better to take two non-empty sets. Then any subset of A cross B is called a relation from A to B. As we have seen, what is a subset? And how many subsets we can form from a set also we have seen in the previous class. Now let us take the Cartesian product and we will list all the subsets of A cross B. So let's take the same example as if A is equal to 1 comma 2 and B is a set A comma B. Then how many elements exist in the Cartesian product is 4. 2 into 2, 4. Now what is that? A cross B. A cross B is the set of all ordered pairs. 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 2 comma A and 2 comma B. So these are the 4 elements present in the Cartesian product. And how many subsets we can form is 2 to the power of 4, that is 16. That is, let us find out what are the subsets of A cross B. So F1, empty set is always a subset of A cross B. Next, F2, singleton, the ordered pair, single element A comma 1 comma A is one element which is a subset of A cross B. F3, 1 comma B is one element which is also a subset of A cross B. F4 2 comma A. F5 2 comma B. F6. Now two elements 1 comma A, 1 comma B. F7 1 comma A, 2 comma A. F8 1 comma A, 2 comma B. F9 1 comma B, 2 comma A. F10 1 comma B, 2 comma B. F11 2 comma A, 2 comma B. Next F12 set with three elements 1A, 1B, 2A. 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 2 comma A. F13 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 2 comma B. F14 1 comma A, 2 comma A, 2 comma B. 1A, 1B. Okay. Next F15 1B, 1 comma B, 2 comma A, 2 comma B. F16 1A means every set is itself a subset 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. So these are the 16 subsets of A cross B, and each subset means any subset of A cross B is called a relation. Means each subset is called a relation. Means how many relations we can have from A to B means 16 relations. So if you choose any one of the subset, that is a relation from A to B. I hope that is clear. So as we have seen the example, we will generalize what will be how many subsets, how many relations exist for A to B. Suppose if the number of elements in set A are m, assume there are m elements in set A, and the number of elements in set B are n, then how many elements exist in n of A cross B means how many elements exist in the Cartesian product is mn, m into n, that is n of A into n of B, mn. How many subsets exist for A cross B means as there are mn elements in the Cartesian product, therefore there will be the number of subsets of A cross B are 2 to the power of mn. In the previous example, the number of elements of set A are 2 and the number of elements in set B are also 2. So the number of elements in the Cartesian product are 4. Then the number of subsets we have seen is 2 to the power of 2 into 2, that is 2 to the power of 4, that is 16. Similarly, one more example. if A is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4 and B is another set with x comma y. How many elements exist in set A is? N of A is 4 and N of B is 2. Therefore, what we can have is the number of elements in the Cartesian product are 4 into 2. 4 into 2, that is 8. What are those 8 elements? A cross B is 1 comma x, 1 comma y, 2 comma x, 2 comma y, 3 comma x, 3 comma y, 4 comma x and 4 comma y. So these are the 8 elements, and each subset of A cross B is called a relation. So normally how many subsets we can form from the A cross B is 2 to the power of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So the number of subsets of A cross B is 2 to the power of 8. How much? So it will be 256. So we can form 256 subsets of the set A cross B. So in general we can go for, that is 2 to the power of mn. So next we'll go for what is the domain and range of the relation. Now the domain and range of the relation. So let F be a relation. Means what is a relation? It is a subset of A cross B. Means any one of the subset of A cross B. If it is a relation, then the set of all x belongs to A, such that if the ordered pair belongs to this relation, in that the first component x, the set of all first components of that relation is called the domain of the function f, domain of f, and the set of all second components of the same relation is called range of the function. Example, if A is equal to 1, 2, 3 and B is A comma B, choose any one of the subset of A cross B. Normally in A cross B there will be 3 to the 6 elements. Means we can have 2 to the power of 6, that is 64 relations. So from 64 subsets, if I choose F 1 comma A, 1 comma B, 2 comma A, 2 comma B. So this is one relation among 64 subsets, 64 relations. Now, if this is a relation, so what are the first components of this relation? 1, 1, 2, 2. Means domain of F is, as per the definition, the set of all x belongs to A. Means the x belongs to capital A and y belongs to capital B. Then we can have the ordered pairs. Now F 1, 1, 2, 2 means 1 comma 2 is the domain of this relation. Second, the range, the set of all second components of this relation. So let the second components of this relation are what? A, B, A, B. Means range of F is A comma B. As A is repeated twice, B is also repeated twice, but in a set it should be distinct. So instead of writing two A's, we can write one single A, and instead of two B's, we can write one B. So this is about the domain and range. So in the last example, we have taken one example and we have seen 16 relations. Now for each relation, we will find out what is the domain what is the range. So now we'll see the domain and range of the each subset of A cross B. As we have seen the example, A is a set of with 2 elements, B is a set of with 2 elements, A cross B will have 4 elements, and we can have 16 relations. Now let us choose each relation and we'll find out what will be the domain and the range. Now as empty set is a subset, means it is a relation of A cross B. So domain is empty and range is also empty. Next, 1 comma A is one ordered pair which is also a relation of A cross B. So for this, the domain will be only 1 and range is also A. As 1 comma A belongs to relation, the set of all first components becomes the domain and the second components gives the range. So 1 and A. Coming to this, 1B is also a relation of A cross B. The domain is 1 and B is range. Coming to this, 2 and it is A. Next, for the Fi, 2 is the domain, B is the range. Next, for this 1A, 1B is also a relation of A cross B. In this, 1 is the domain and A comma B is the range. 1 is the domain, A comma B is the range. Next, for this, 1 comma 2 is the domain and A is the range. For F8, the domain is 1 and 2 and range is A and B. Similarly, coming to this F9, 1 comma 2 is the domain and range is B comma A. So in the set, the elements, the position of the elements are not, it is not mandatory. So the set BA or set EAB both are same. Next, for this 1 and 2 are gives the domain and B is the range. Next, for 2A, 2B is also one relation of A cross B and domain is 2 and A comma B is the range. Next, 1A, 1B, 2A is also a relation. Domain will be 1 comma 2 and range is A comma B. 1A, 1B, 2B. 1 comma 2 is a domain and A comma B is the range. 1A, 2A, 2B. 1 comma 2 is the domain and A comma B is the range. 1B, 2A, 2B. 1 comma 2 and A comma B. Next, 1, 2, A comma B. So these are the different domains and different ranges of the each relation. Now, from this domain and range, if you observe all the domains as well as ranges, each domain is a subset of set A. Singleton 1 is a subset of A, 1, 2 is also a subset to A. Similarly, observe the ranges. The ranges is also a subset of B. Means from this example, what we can conclude is the domain of a relation is always a subset of set A and the range of F is a subset of B. So, what we have observed from the example is, if F is a relation from A into B, then the domain of F is a subset of A and range of the relation is subset of B. Next, we'll go for the inverse relation. Inverse relation. Suppose if F is a relation means any one of the subset of A cross B is a relation from A into B, then the set of all ordered pairs y comma x such that if x comma y belongs to F, means if the ordered pair belongs to the relation, if you reverse the ordered pair, that gives the inverse relation, is a relation from B to A, is called an inverse relation, and it is denoted by F inverse. It is denoted by F inverse. For a small example, if A is equal to 1 comma 2, B is another set A comma B, then F is one among the 16 subsets. Let us choose 1 comma A, 2 comma B, 2 comma A. So this is one relation from A to B. Then if we reverse the ordered pairs, F inverse will be if 1 comma A belongs to F, then A, the reverse of the ordered pair, that is A comma 1, A comma 1, B comma 2 and A comma 2 is the inverse relation. Again, if I inverse this relation, F inverse whole inverse means the inverse of the inverse relation, what we will get? 1 comma A, 2 comma B and 2 comma A, means 1A, 2B, 2A is the relation from A to B. Again 1A, 2B, 2A is means these two sets are equal. Means what we can observe is the inverse of the inverse relation is itself. So what is the note? If F is a relation from A into B, then F inverse whole inverse means the inverse of the inverse relation is F, means these two sets are equal. F inverse whole inverse is same as F. So these two sets are equal. So this is our observation. Now we will go for one more relation, that is composite relation. If F is a relation from A into B, means relation means any one of the subset of A cross B, and G is another relation from B into C, means G is one subset of B cross C, means if A, B, C are any sets, F is a relation from A into B and G is a relation from B into C, then the set of all ordered pairs x comma z, means where the first order pair belongs to F, x comma y, and y belongs to z, y comma z belongs to G. For some y, means this y should be common. Then we get a new list of ordered pairs. So that list is a relation from A into C, where x is the first component of set A, z is the second component of y is the second component of from C, where x is the first component of set A and z is the second component from set C. So this relation is called the composite relation, and it is denoted by G compose or G circle F. It is read as G compose F or G circle F. For a small example, we'll see. If A is a set with 1, 2 and B is another set A comma B and C is another set of X, Y, Z. if these are the three sets, now F is a relation from A into B. Normally, how many elements exist in the Cartesian product? 4. And how many relations we can have is 16. Now, among the 16 relations, let us choose one relation F. That is 1, A, 1, B, 2, A is one relation. Next, G is a relation from B into C. Means G is a relation means any one of the subset of B cross C. Normally in B cross C, how many elements exist in B cross C is 6. 2, 3 are 6. And how many subsets we can have is 2 to the power of 6. That is 64. Among 64 subsets, let us choose one relation. G is another relation. A, X, B, Y, A, Y. So this is one relation from set B to set C. Now, we'll go for the ordered pairs. 1A belongs to F, 1A belongs to F, A, X belongs to G. Means the second component of F and the first component of G are same. So we can have 1, X. 1A, AX. That is 1X. For some, A belongs to set B. So 1A, AX, 1X. 1B, BY. 1B, BY. So it will be 1, Y. 2A, AX. 2X. Oh, one more A is also there. 1A, AY. 1Y. 1B, BY. 1Y. 2A, AY. 2, Y. So this is a relation from set A. What is A? 1, 2, 1, 2. And X, Y are the set C. So X, Y are the elements from the set C. So in this 1, Y is repeated. So no need of writing again. So what are the elements? So this relation is a composite. This relation, the set is called the composite relation of F of G and F. So G compose F is set of all ordered pairs 1, X, 1, Y, 2, X and 2, Y. So this is about the composite relation. Now based on the composite relation, so we'll see one note. If F is a relation that is a subset of A cross B, G is another relation which is a subset of B cross C, and H is another relation from set C to D, then H compose G compose F is same as H compose G of F. H compose of G compose F is same as H compose G compose F. So try with some example. Next, if F is a subset of A cross B, means F is any relation from A into B, G is another relation from set B into C, then the inverse of G compose F is similar to the F inverse compose G inverse. So we'll see one example on this note. So based on this theorem, we'll go for one example. If A is a set with 1, 2, B is another set A, B, C is another set X, Y, Z. So F is a relation from A to B, means which is a subset of A cross B. G is another relation which is a subset of B cross C. So this is F and G. If F is a relation from A to B, then what will be F inverse? The reverse of the ordered pairs. A, 1, A, 1, 1 comma b means it will be in b comma 1, and 2 comma a in inverse it will be a comma 2. Similarly, G is another relation from set B to set C. So this is a relation. If this is a relation, then what is the inverse relation is x comma a, y comma b. So these are the two sets of F inverse and G inverse. Now, as we have seen, G compose F. First F, 1a, ax means 1x, 1b, by, 1y, 2a, ax, 2x. So this is the composite relation from A to C. And if it is a relation, then what about its inverse? The inverse of G compose F. The inverse of G compose F is the reverse of this ordered pairs. X comma 1, y comma 1, and the reverse of 2 comma x is x comma 2. So this is the set which is the inverse of G compose F. Next, we will go for the individual. F inverse compose G inverse. First, G inverse. Let us take the G inverse x comma a and a comma 1. X comma a comma 1. So it will be x comma 1. And y comma b comma 1, y comma 1. One more, x comma a comma 2. So x comma 2. This, if you observe these two sets, x1, y1, y1, x2, x2. These two elements are, these two sets are equal. So what we can conclude is G compose F whole inverse is equal to F inverse compose G inverse. So this is about composite relations. In the next class, we will go for function. What is a function? What is the domain and what is the range of the function? Thank you.